In mid-June, Salesforce released 3 updates to Work.com focused on employee support, wellness, and career development. Here to talk about the new offerings, as well as how Salesforce customers are adapting to the age of hybrid work, is Jodi Innerfield, Director of Product Marketing for Work.com. Thanks for joining me, Jodi.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you again.
The last time we spoke, we were talking about Work.com's evolution and some of the new announcements and features that Salesforce was adding to Work.com around employee engagement. And I think we're back again to talk about some even more features that you're rolling out. But before I get to that, what I really wanted to talk about with this is this new era of hybrid work and the way hybrid work is changing how companies need to support their employees. Let's start there. How is this new normal of mixed remote, in-office work, everything in between, making it more challenging and for companies to support their employees?
Well, I've been working on work.com now since last March, and we've been talking to customers ever since last March. It was about reopening. Then it shifted to, ooh, how do I support my employees when they're working from home? And now, as we're entering this hybrid work of world, what we're hearing from customers is that the way they worked before the pandemic no longer works for a hybrid world. This hybrid working world instead is really forcing employers to rethink how they connect people to resources, how they connect people to the tools they need to do their jobs, how they connect people to the support they need, or even how they connect people to opportunities. And the reality is, organizations need to bridge that gap with technology that empowers every employee to succeed no matter where they're working.
How have employees' expectations changed? Because as you mentioned, you're talking about connecting employees to technology, the tools that they use to do their jobs. But I imagine there's more to it than that.
Employees have always expected easy access to support and tools and career growth, work life balance. But what the pandemic has done is it's really accelerated and reprioritized what people need and value out of life, but also out of work. So now, if organizations don't meet these expectations, employees will leave. So businesses can support their employees' needs by investing in technology that ensures that hybrid work is productive and engaging and supportive, because employee success today really does depend on having the right tools. Because I think I've mentioned this before, every employee experience right now is a technology experience. And if existing technology doesn't meet employee expectations, they have other options.
And I think, you and I talked last time, and I know we've talked about some research on TechRepublic that shows a large number of employees will leave. They will not take a job. They will leave their current employer if they don't feel that the tools or even the practices are really supporting them in doing their best work. So let's jump to the announcements that Salesforce is making today about Work.com. What are they, and when can we expect to see them?
Well, for years at Salesforce, we've focused on great customer experiences by putting the customer at the center of what we do. But with Work.com, we are announcing new innovations to help organizations put their employees at the center of what they do to create and improve their employee experiences for success in this work from anywhere world. So today we're excited to announce innovations in 2 key areas. The first is employee growth with new products for talent and well-being, which will come out in the fall. The second area of innovation is around employee service. So we're expanding on our existing offerings that you and I talked about back in March to now include HR Service Center and Employee Concierge Bots, which will GA in July, as well as Service Catalog, which will be available in the fall.
Yeah, so that's a lot of stuff upcoming. Let's dive down a little deeper into each one of those, and let's start with Work.com Talent. Explain to me in specific terms how Work.com Talent is going to help employees and companies with career development.
Talent development and career growth, as we mentioned earlier, are not new expectations, but what we've heard from customers is that existing solutions are really focused on the HR side of things, not so much on the employee. So with Work.com Talent, we're really putting the employee in the driver's seat of their own careers to help them identify and develop skills for their own career growth. So with Work.com Talent, employees get a single view of their skills, and they also get like a personalized career coach to receive AI-powered guidance to help them find development opportunities, such as learning recommendations with Trailhead. So we're really giving the ability for employees to match the skills they have with the skills they want and the learning opportunities that will help them get to where they want to take their career. Now, managers and leaders also get a view of talent across their organization or across their team, so they can then match this internal talent with opportunities and identify key trends so that they can continue to managers and leaders also get a view of talent across their organization so that they can match talent with opportunities, identify key trends, and really accelerate growth with the existing talent base that they have in their organization.
And is there specific or was there specific consideration to this new hybrid environment in the development of Work.com talent tools? Because from what you're describing, it definitely sounds like they would work for in-person environments and for remote environments and for especially for large organizations that are spread out around the globe. But was there special consideration, since we're talking about hybrid work, for that during the development of the tool?
What we're hearing from customers is they want to make sure that their employees have access to opportunities no matter where they're working. And it can be really hard for employees who maybe continue to work from home, or maybe they've moved outside of an headquarters location during the pandemic. They can often feel like they no longer have access to talent opportunities, that maybe they don't get the visibility from leadership that they would have if they could walk down to a leader's office and talk about what they're working on. So with Work.com Talent, this employee profile and the ability to pull in not only the skills you have, the projects you worked on, but also the opportunities and skills that you want to develop, creates an equal access for everybody to be able to say, here's how you can see what I'm working on and what I'm great at, whether I'm working from home or working in the office. So yes, we've absolutely taken into consideration, how do we make sure that employees, no matter where they're working, have opportunities to develop and grow their careers? And that's what we're bringing together with Work.com Talent.
Well, and I think that's a perfect segue to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is Work.com wellness. And because as you describe it, that perception that you need FaceTime, that you need an in-person connection to really, with executive leadership, to move forward in your career can cause a lot of stress, and it can cause a lot of angst among employees. And now that everyone has been in this kind of hybrid or remote work environment, at least in knowledge workers for the last year, that has only been those concerns have only been added to by everything else that people have been stressed and have been worrying about, from their personal health to going back into the office to their families and their friends and just what's happening around the world in general. And that all contributes to an employee's health and well-being. So tell me a little bit about how Work.com well-being helps employees manage and support their health and well-being.
When we launched Work.com last year, we had employee wellness check, which really focused on physical health. Am I physically healthy enough? Do I not have COVID-19 so I can go into an office? But what we've heard from customers like Cognizant, for example, is that they wanted to expand beyond checking in on physical health to making sure that they were helping employees maintain their overall well-being. So Work.com well-being helps employees understand and improve their own well-being through regular pulse checks delivered right where the employee is working. So they can gauge how they're doing on what we are calling 5 key areas of well-being: physical, mental, social, financial, and professional health. Now, it's not just about checking in and giving employees a moment to reflect on, hey, how am I doing? It's also important to provide resources to help employees manage and improve their well being. So, we're expanding our ecosystem of partners to include content providers who have well being resources that admins and organizations can tap into. So, when an employee gets a pulse check, hey, how are you doing today? How's your stress on a scale of 1 to 5? Maybe today it's about a 3. Admins can tap into an ecosystem of resources and serve up relevant content for an employee so that they can improve their well-being. And we're really excited that today we're announcing that Thrive Global is our first content partnership. So they will have content available for admins on the App Exchange so that they can include those when they're checking in with their employees. Now, the one other thing I want to mention around well-being is that it's so important to maintain employee trust when we're having conversations around something like well-being. Employees need to trust that their information will be kept confidential and it will be kept secure. So we've been working with the Office of Ethical Use here at Salesforce to make sure that we're structuring our check-in templates and the product itself in a way that keeps employee ethics and trust and privacy top of mind.
Another thing that's really important when it comes to the employee well-being is also the understanding that the recommendations that are being made by these tools that you're talking about, these third-party providers, are actually valued at the utmost levels of the organization, right? That it's not just lip service. It's not just, hey, fill this form out and tell me how you're feeling today, but then nothing else happens. Or, hey, here's this form, or hey, here's this pamphlet, or here's this information. I'd love to get your take on what you're hearing from customers about, how sincere are they in making this part a serious part of how they operate just in general. So it's not just, hey, you need to plan for your financial health. Here's some information about for your 401k planning, right? Or here's some information about IRAs, or here's some saving strategies. And then that's kind of it, because it seems like with everything else that's going on, with all the other features that we're working on, the tools and how things are integrated, that employee expectations, as you were talking about earlier, are a little higher. They want to know that, yeah, my manager says that I should not log on and answer emails after 6 p.m., after 7 p.m., whatever your time is. But there really is this expectation that I do that. I have to be connected all the time, or I feel like my career is going to stall, just like we were talking earlier. So what are you hearing from customers about how they're making that change within the organization?
You've hit the nail on the head, Bill. It's the employee expectations that have accelerated that are really driving organizations and our customers in particular to realize we really need to take this seriously, and we can't just talk the talk around well-being. We have to walk the walk. So we're hearing from customers, this whole idea around expanding the notion of what well-being is and how they can help support their employees beyond just physical well-being really came from conversations that we've been having with our customers. But in addition to just providing content, it's really important that these organizations also do think through how are they changing the culture and making sure the culture matches the expectations that employees have around how they want to prioritize their own well-being, their own work-life balance, or else, as we talked about earlier, employees have choices and they will leave. And so customers who are really excited about employee well-being are excited about it because it helps support their culture of well-being, not because it's being used in place of adapting their culture and their processes.
That's really interesting to hear, and again, it's a perfect segue to sort of the last topic that I wanted to talk about, which is employee service. So this is from the way you described it earlier. This is the mechanism that is built into Work.com to allow employees to get the support they need to succeed wherever they are, whether it's working remotely, whether it's in the office, whether it's at a branch office, or whether it's at the corporate headquarters. Tell me about employee service a little more in detail and how it does that.
Well, in March, we launched Concierge for self-service and IT Service Center for IT support in a distributed workforce. We're now expanding employee service into three new innovations. The first is concierge bots. So these are AI-powered chatbots to get self-service help. And we already know that chatbots are key in case deflection for customer service. We're just bringing that internally for employee service use cases. So this will be a new feature within Concierge that'll be available in July. We also have Service Catalog, and Service Catalog offers an Amazon-like shopping experience, but for workplace products or services. Maybe that's requesting a new laptop or an ergonomic chair or kicking off an HR process. You can access it right within the Concierge console, and there are built-in automated workflows, or you can use a workflow builder to customize and build your own workflow depending upon what an organization needs. But last and certainly not least is HR Service Center. This streamlines traditionally complex and disconnected processes within HR. And I feel this inherently because I used to be in HR. So there are many complex, disconnected processes like onboarding, offboarding, employee leaves, and this puts it into an integrated experience. And what's different with HR Service Center is this is really an employee-centered HR experience. And what I mean by that is we're really automating the processes and thinking about what is this like for the employee? How is the employee experiencing the onboarding process or the leave of absence request process? And of course, HR Service Center is modernizing the HR experience for HR agents by leveraging Service Cloud functionality to create an intelligent HR console for HR agents to quickly and securely address employee cases and employee needs.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think the more that people are accustomed to using sort of what I would say consumer software like tools, the more they expect these kind of integrated experiences. And I take it that, the same way Salesforce has done with the rest of its apps being integrated in with other parts of the platform, the same is true for employee services and all the other work.com announcements, right?
What we're hearing from customers is that, and I know this from my time in HR, there are so many different systems and tools that are being used, whether that's on the back end by HR teams or even IT teams, as well as on the front end as employees. There's different systems for different things. The real difference with work.com is we're bringing it all together into one integrated, intuitive, easy to use and intelligent platform that's actually engaging for employees because it puts their needs first.
Well, Jodi, I think that's a great place to end it. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much, Bill. It's great to be here again with you.